And welcome to on Paulsboro, a brand new show. We hope you enjoyed the 4th of July parade. It was a lot of fun to be in. It's a great day, quite frankly. We're here at the new Save-A-Lot supermarket on the site of the old Paulsboro Plaza, still waiting for the balance of the renovations to happen to the plaza. But this store is bright, it's attractive, it's clean, and it's drawing business. And Irma, we were here just prior to its opening, and now we're back, and it's operating.
Oh, I love it, John. I come here like 2-3 times a week, and it's just Walt and I, but the produce is fresh. Everything, and the people here, 19 out of 22 employees are Paulsboro people, and anything they can do for you, and whew, I'm so glad it's here.
Well, it's another
Plus.
Opportunity, another point of competition. Competition is good for everybody, and if you haven't been here and you haven't tried Save-A-Lot, you want to consider it. And we're going to visit with the owner. It's a family-operated business. They'll be on as the program goes, so you'll get more information. Stay with us. We're coming right back.
Multi-policy discount, paperless discount, paid in full discount, homeowners discount, safe driver discount, chipmunk family reunion, someone stole the nuts, squirrel jail, justice.
Countless discounts. Now that's progressive. Call or click today.
Thinking about a new appliance or an LCD TV? Don't think twice, think Weiss. Weiss True Value has a full line of LCD TVs plus a great variety of appliances. And of course, hardware items like TrueTest paints, Master Mechanic tools, electrical supplies, key duplicating, and Rug Doctor rentals. And for repairs on screens and windows, look no further. Weiss True Value, from making keys to selling appliances and LCD TVs. Don't think twice, think Weiss. 39 West Broad Street, Paulsboro.
For everything, there's a season, and a time for everything under heaven. A time for sharing, a time for caring, a time for remembering, and a time for parting. When that time arrives, let Beth McBride Foley and Thomas D. Foley at the McBride Foley Funeral Home help you in your time of need. Offering a wide variety of funeral services from cremation to traditional, McBride Foley Funeral Home has been helping families with the loss of a loved one with over 50 years of combined service. McBride Foley Funeral Home, 228 West Broad Street, Paulsboro.
And welcome back. As I mentioned, this program comes to you from the Save-A-Lot food store here on Broad Street, where Paulsboro meets Gippstown. It's brand new, and it's very attractive. And with me now is a friend and partner in the legislature, but a true leader in the state, the Senate President, Steve Sweeney. So Steve, first of all, welcome. It's summertime. You're in a full suit. I couldn't get a jacket on. It's just too warm.
John, it is very warm, but it's not in here. It's beautiful in here.
And it really is. I mean, you're traveling the state, but of course you're Gloucester County based, as we all are. Anytime you see progress like this, it's to be applauded and encouraged.
John, it is so wonderful to see progress in Paulsboro. You know, from the port getting open to having businesses open that, you know, hopefully people that get jobs at the port will be able to support the businesses. That's what it's all about.
And it'll all come. We wanted to visit with Steve because those of you who are paying attention, we had a brief shutdown of the state as there was issues over the budget, very significant issues that in the end had great benefit to both this region and the entire state. Steve, as the Senate President, was really the quarterback to put the final deal together, that got the parties in the room and reached a conclusion. And I can say that because I got to say it. So, Steve, that was a bruising couple days, 5-6 days leading up, a brief shutdown. It's not something you haven't handled before, but this was worth fighting for.
John, it was worth fighting for because we finally started funding the formula the way it was intended to be funded. And districts that didn't have the children, they shouldn't be getting the funding for kids they don't have. And, you know, it was one of the biggest fights we've ever had. And we actually had to shut the state government down to force the hand. And we don't want to punish any kids, but we want the money. You know, tax dollars are so limited to start with. Tax dollars should go where the children are. You know, Washington Township was getting funded for 1,600 kids that aren't in the school. And Kingsway had 1,000 kids that they actually had. They weren't getting any funding for it. And that wasn't unique. That's just for this county. It's you know, they know the districts. But throughout the state, that was going on throughout the state. And, you know, those who have never want to give up. And I'm a believer we're all better together when we're all in it together instead of you're on your own.
And this, and as Steve outlines that, and he's making direct reference to the school funding formula and how money moves to the public schools. And all of you know what the impact on your tax bill is of public schools. So having that funded correctly has a direct effect on how things flow. And you would think that would be an easy discussion to have. Steve, it wasn't easy.
John, it was, again, because the districts that are overfunded didn't care about the districts that were underfunded. They were just very happy having what they had. And again, I'm going to go back to Washington Township for a second. During this whole discussion about, Kingsway not being able to buy textbooks and shutting down programs, and Washington's buying iPads for elementary kids. That's wonderful. But what about us all working together so that we don't increase class sizes in some districts where teachers have to deal with 30 plus kids and other districts are dealing with 20 plus kids? We need to work together. We need to be in this together. And we finally got to a point where we're funding the formula the way it was intended to be funded. These districts that are overfunded, there's $744 million in districts that were overfunded. That money needs to move to where the children are. So the money follows the child, which is what we intended to do when we passed it years ago.
It was the last year of the Corzine administration that this formula that Steve makes reference to was found by the Supreme Court to be constitutionally sound. But Steve, this year, the most significant part was just breaking the ice. I mean, you have now started the process. It's not finished.
John, this year was just starting to move the money. Next year is a big challenge because we're going to do a millionaire's tax. And we're going to still have to start moving money also. But we should be able to move $1 billion into school funding next year. And it's a pure millionaire's tax, not one penny more, like up to $1 million. But over $1 million, was a new tax. And people that are earning over $1 million a year, they can afford to pay more. They need to help the rest of us out, in our communities that we deal with. But we're going to add $1 billion statewide in new funding next year. That gets us halfway there. And we have the roadmap, the money in these overfunded districts, and we add $150 to $200 million annually. John, we're going to finally get to fully funding our districts. And districts like Paulsboro are going to get close to $400,000 of new money this year. And next year, with the millionaire's tax, another $600,000. It's going to take the pressure off the local taxpayers.
It's a significant and important discussion. Wasn't the only part of the component that led to this negotiation on the budget, personal health care, individuals who hadn't had a raise in 6 or 7 years. See, that's significant. I mean, the school funding formula was, $140 million, I forget the exact number. But there was almost $320 million of program money that you were able to negotiate in this budget. Those personal health care assistance were, I think, pretty significant as well.
John, personal health care assistance, the people taking care of the disabled, working with the disabled, hadn't gotten a raise in 7 years. When we were dealing with this, we'll let the governor veto it, we'll deal with it next year. Tell someone that hasn't had a raise in 7 years, wait till next year, we'll get it next year. They can't wait. We couldn't let that budget go this year. This was the best budget that we've had in the entire Christie administration. And we helped so many people. We helped support facilities that deal with children that are abused. We could go on and on and on all the wonderful programs that we actually put money into for the first time in a long time.
Big accomplishment. Great effort. And as I said before, as I was introducing Steve, I got to watch it close up, and I can tell you that Steve Sweeney, acting as the Senate President, was honestly the adult in the room on that weekend as we headed into the 4th of July, had the state shut down. It was his voice and his guidance got everybody in the room and said, we're staying here till it's done. And it got done. Good job, Steve, by the way. Really just a good job. And we will be right back.
Life is a journey that we travel with a lot of uncertainty. When your family is faced with change and you're in need of understanding, direction, honesty, and professionalism, we at the Landolfi Funeral Home have a tradition of assisting you with all of your needs in any way that we can. We offer many affordable funeral services. Please feel free to call us with any questions you may have or visit us at www.landolfifuneralhome.com.
Rizzo Family Chiropractic Center in Gibbstown offers pain relief with a difference. Using specific chiropractic adjustments, Rizzo Family Chiropractic will get to the root of your problem quickly. Bring your headaches, neck, back, joint, or limb pain to Dr. Karen Rizzo. If you have recurring pain, chiropractic can help. Rizzo Family Chiropractic can relieve many sources of pain without extended treatment and ongoing therapy. Give your family the gift of caring professional pain relief with a difference. Rizzo Family Chiropractic.
Come on down Route 55 to the Millville Airport. Visit Smith & Jackson Military Antiques and Firearms, a gun shop with a woman's touch. Buying, selling, and trading firearms and military items, especially seeking World War II, German, Japanese, and American items. Buying single items or entire collections. That's Smith & Jackson Military Antiques and Firearms at the Millville Airport, 21 Peterson Street, next to the Glasstown Brewing Company.
And welcome back. We continue here from the new Save-A-Lot store on Broad Street where Paulsboro meets Gibbstown, and we're now with the owners, Bob and Laura. This is a beautiful place. We had done a show prior to the opening, and then they had the grand opening, ribbon cutting. The mayor, Field Director Robert Damager is here to welcome this new business into Gloucester County. So first of all, Bob, Laura, who'd like to speak?
Wow, this is a first.
Yeah. Well, it won't.
To open up the Save-A-Lot to have my wife let me go first here.
It won't happen at home, by the way. It will not happen at home. Bob, what's your last name?
My last name is Newton, N-E-W-T-O-N.
Very good. Well, first of all, welcome to both of you. The grand opening was a friendly day. So tell us about Save-A-Lot and how does it fit in the marketplace? You've got ShopRite up the street. You've got major competition. Where does Save-A-Lot come in at?
What we're trying to do here, our model for Save-A-Lot is we have about 3,000 to 4,000 items that we carry, and they're the items that everybody uses most. Save-A-Lot has close to 1,400 stores now. They have a strong buying power on those items, and all the money, instead of having 40 brands of ketchup that you'll find in a conventional supermarket, we have 3. And all the money that is put toward these 3 are to drive the cost down. We'll have hot sauce where you'll find a major brand that'll be $1.99. Our hot sauce is 99 cents, and it's comparable or not. It's probably better than the major brand. Cookies, cereal, the whole 9 yards. And
also a meat department, and prices there seem to get people's attention. And eggs were like 69 cents a dozen at one point.
Yes, they were. Yeah.
Yes, 69 cents in the market now. Just to buy them is over 90 cents, but we have the buying power, and we keep the prices as low as we can. The customers seem to be very receptive, and we're happy about that. Plus, we have an on-site butcher that's here. We use all choice meats. There's nothing that's brought in from the outside. All our meat's cut here on premises. Fresh produce brought in daily. So we're looking forward to the customers to come in and enjoy it, and we're glad to be here in the community.
This place just stands out as a shining beacon. There are plans for demolition, plans for upgrading, which will further complement it. But there is repaired parking in front of the store. There is lighting, and it is a comfortable place to come into. What are hours of operation? Laura, you want that question? That's not a hard one.
Yes, every day from 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock at night, 7 days a week. And we're waiting for you. 545 West Broad Street, we're waiting for you. We made this for you out there.
And that's actually well spoken because it's a comfortable place. Is there one item that jumps off the shelves?
They all do. I got to be honest with you.
Just about every item jumps off the shelf.
My wife's not such a big eater, but we have a lot of snacks at home, so I can tell you the snacks are really good.
Hey, you see, you can't beat
prices. Absolutely great prices. Each family should at least give us one chance. Come and check it out. It's a beautiful store. Our prices are really excellent.
Well, price is critical because, and this is a tough business for you guys to be in. I mean, the margins aren't big, so people that are in the grocery store business have got to pay attention, which means they got to pay attention to you, that you're watching, that what is here you want, and it's a price you can afford because there are lots of choices. So competition is good for everybody, and if you haven't been here, stop in, say hello to Bob and Laura. A friendly place. You'd be surprised, and there's likely a bargain sitting. Stay with us. We're coming right back from Save-A-Lot on Broad Street in Paulsboro, where Paulsboro meets Gibbstown.
Thank you.
Multi-policy discount. Paperless discount. Paid in full discount. Homeowners discount. Safe driver discount. Chipmunk family reunion. Someone stole the nuts. Squirrel jail. Justice.
Countless discounts. Now that's progressive. Call or click today.
Thinking about a new appliance or an LCD TV? Don't think twice. Think Weiss. White's True Value has a full line of LCD TVs plus a great variety of appliances. And of course, hardware items like True Test paints, Master Mechanic tools, electrical supplies, key duplicating, and Rug Doctor rentals. And for repairs on screens and windows, look no further. White's True Value, from making keys to selling appliances and LCD TVs. Don't think twice, think Weiss. 39 West Broad Street, Paulsboro.
For everything, there's a season, and a time for everything under heaven. A time for sharing, a time for caring, a time for remembering, and a time for parting. When that time arrives, let Beth McBride Foley and Thomas D. Foley at the McBride Foley Funeral Home help you in your time of need. Offering a wide variety of funeral services from cremation to traditional, McBride Foley Funeral Home has been helping families with the loss of a loved one with over 50 years of combined service. McBride Foley Funeral Home, 228 West Broad Street, Paulsboro.
Welcome back. Always happy to be with the Mayor of Paulsboro, Gary Stevenson, especially inside of a brand new supermarket, grocery store. This is a special occasion. We visited with the Mayor prior to the opening, as we mentioned with the other guests as well. So this is good stuff, and you always have to take time to recognize when accomplishments are made. So Gary, this is a great addition.
Big step for what we're trying to accomplish in town. This, with the port, the grocery store, the housing, the tearing down of houses, all going down that road of prosperity for Paulsboro, moving Paulsboro forward. This is the really huge step.
It's a big step because it really fits well for Paulsboro, Gibbstown, East Greenwich. Price point is right. But we wanted to visit with the mayor because if you've driven down Berkeley Road, now we're taping the show on August, what's today's date? August 17th. So this will be, by the time you see it, it'll be a couple weeks. But if you've driven down Berkeley Road, the Paulsboro Standpipe water tower that usually faces 295 looks a little bit different. Gary, that looks like a pretty expensive job. Tell us what's going on.
It is expensive. We're talking about $700,000 worth of work. We had a couple of holes up at the top. They needed to be fixed. It was rusting out. That has to all be scraped. New type of paint going on. I had to meet new code safety issues for people that actually had to walk all the way up there. Wouldn't be me, but with ladders and others, walkways at the very top. They had to clean the inside, paint the inside as well. And they also had to put a mixer inside there to keep the water fresh, whatever that term means. So all that, $700,000, we were able to get a grant on that a little bit to help us out with the cost, but it's something that we had to do. Once again, we don't want to tax our residents, but that's something that's important to the town and we have to maintain.
Well, if we're going to have progress, you have to have good water. We went through that water scare a couple of years ago, got a brand new water filtration system plan in. In fact, we have to go back there and do a show, Gary, at some point on the carbon, the carbon filter system. But these kinds of investments are good investments. And I mentioned, I've checked with my father. I don't know they spent that much to build that originally, but that's gotten good life.
It has a good life. And I mean, it's a must for a town. It supplies the water, firewood, all, we have to do it. There's not can you put it off or can you Band-Aid it? No. The corrosion of the hole up top there, that'll get bigger and bigger and bigger and cost us a lot more money. So, we need to fix these issues like Thompson Avenue and such. So.
Yep. They're not always glamorous projects, but they have to happen, and you can't put them off. And if you remember a couple of years ago, we actually shot a show from inside last time they painted it.
Really?
We were inside. We got hollered at because we were not wearing the proper escape equipment at the time. But it's a very good segment. But that's what's going on in Berkeley Road. By the time you see the show, the draping may be down, may not be down, but the mayor's update tells us water standpipe being redone and going to be an investment that's going to last for decades. Stay with us. We're coming right back.
Life is a journey that we travel with a lot of uncertainty. When your family is faced with change and you're in need of understanding, direction, honesty, and professionalism, we at the Landolfi Funeral Home have a tradition of assisting you with all of your needs in any way that we can. We offer many affordable funeral services. Please feel free to call us with any questions you may have or visit us at www.landolfifuneralhome.com.
Rizzo Family Chiropractic Center in Gibbstown offers pain relief with a difference. Using specific chiropractic adjustments, Rizzo Family Chiropractic will get to the root of your problem quickly. Bring your headaches, neck, back, joint, or limb pain to Dr. Karen Rizzo. If you have recurring pain, chiropractic can help. Rizzo Family Chiropractic can relieve many sources of pain without extended treatment and ongoing therapy. Give your family the gift of caring professional pain relief with a difference. Rizzo Family Chiropractic.
A few days ago, federal United States Senator Cory Booker visited Paulsboro, visited the Paulsboro port, hosted by Senator Sweeney, myself, Mayor Stevenson, Assemblyman Adam Taylor Farrow, the Executive Director of the South Jersey Port Corporation, and we got a chance to catch up with the Senator. We hope you enjoy the interview. He enjoyed seeing the port and left us with a commitment of help where needed. So enjoy this interview with Senator Cory Booker. A real pleasure to be with Senator Cory Booker. Many of you know him. He's one of 2 federal senators for this great state. He's in the middle of his tour of 21 counties as he takes time to go back and just visit with the people he represents. And New Jersey, the most densely populated state, but I think the senator will tell us also the most diverse state, not only by the people who live here, but by its economy. And the senator is doing just impressive work in Washington at a time where it's sort of unsettled. First of all, welcome, Senator. Welcome to Paulsboro. Welcome to the port.
Thank you very much. Sullivan, you give me a lot of credit, but what you're doing down here is incredible. You're probably one of the smartest guys when it comes to making economic development happen. And here we are standing out at the port. This is really your vision, and it's becoming a reality. And thousands of people are going to benefit from this project. I'm happy to be a small part of it.
Well, you're actually a large part of it because, as you know, it takes a team. We have Senator Steve Sweeney out front and a good group underneath. And
he's a good fullback.
He can block.
He can clear a hole.
He can block, and your commitment just to help, because this is a regional project. But tell us about you're touring the state. You're in Gloucester County today. What strikes you?
Well, you know, it's amazing. You're right about the diversity of our state, but it's amazing to me whether in Wildwood or Willingboro, you just hear a lot of the same issues that people are struggling with, people are fighting with, whether it's retirement security, making sure our veterans, especially in this region, aren't driving hours and hours and hours just to get basic health treatment, whether it's the opioid crisis, which we've heard about from the top of the state to the bottom of the state, taking too many New Jersey lives. There's a lot of challenges we're facing. Trips like this make me love my state even more because we got great people. But there are some common pain, and we've got to get a common purpose, both at the national level as well as teaming up with people at the state and county level to make a difference and address some of these issues.
And I also felt, by the way, as you worked your way from being the mayor of our largest city, Newark, onto the federal Senate, I thought that mayor's role that you played had you well prepared to deal in Washington, because I felt as you went there, you were grounded.
Yeah, and I think you and I both have the same kind of attitude. It's not about the partisan politics. It's about coming down, how can you fix a problem and bring people together. So I'm really proud that, having represented New Jersey for almost 4 years now, my legislation, most of it has been in partnership with the Republicans across the aisle, addressing really concrete issues for New Jersey, whether it's passing things, legislation with Ted Cruz to help our public radio stations, or working with Senator Heller from Nevada, of all places, to help us get some more services for our veterans. It's about finding ways to bring people together around common problems and fix them.
And also, too, I mean, it's not an exaggeration to say that on the Washington scene at the moment, it's just unsettled, having lived through the years of Richard Nixon and everything that occurred going through that. Not that we're at that point now, but it seems like the body of the Senate has become the adult in the room to sort of settle things to a point where you can get on to doing the nation's business.
No, I mean, it's this moment, I hate to get so particular with you, but there's things that are happening under this presidency that I just never thought I would see before. So we're technically in recess right now, but we've actually kept the Senate going. Republican-controlled Senate, they've kept the Senate going to stop the president from firing the special counsel or firing the attorney general. And that's just, it's a shame, but the Senate is serving this sort of calming time. Republicans and Democrats are saying that we can't let this president take us in a radical way that undermines the sort of the democracy that we have right now. So I don't know what the future is going to hold, but I'm glad I'm in a body where I can find Republican partners just saying, hey, let's take a deep breath here. Let's try to keep focus on the people's problems and not the craziness that you might be seeing on Twitter or in the news headlines.
Well, of course, the democracy will endure because its structure allows for these checks and balances. But I don't know that we've ever faced such a challenge at a time where we have communications move as quickly as they do without time for the communications to sort themselves out of what is true and what isn't true. So for the average person whose attention span is short, when someone like yourself speaks so eloquently from the Senate floor, I think that's helpful and it allows people to settle for a moment and sort it out.
I agree. I think we all have responsibilities, not just people in elected office, but all of us in this time where there is so much more, I mean, the polite way of saying it is just passions and distractions, to keep focused on what's good about our state, what's good about our country. And I love what you said there, because we have a resilient nation. We've seen leaders come and go, but the goodness of America continues. I'm in New Jersey in this day because of good folks back in 1969 who were there for my family. I am where I am today because of the people who coached me in Little League, the field trip moms who were other parents, other kids' parents who were there for me. We are a state that does well because we all come together, despite racial differences, religious differences, even political differences. We still find a way to move forward. And that's what I want from my leaders, but all of us have to be that kind of leader, to bring people together, remind us of our common connections, and work for the common good.
And that's just well spoken. It's a good spot to end this interview. We really appreciate the attention you bring to this region today, visiting in Gloucester County, stopping at Paulsboro, and the support you bring to these kind of economic development projects that serve the region. I think the future is bright, and we have to be optimistic, and things will settle in Washington.
Right. Well, you live this ideal, and I learned this from a tenant president in some projects in Newark. She always believed that hope is a choice. It's not some feeling that you get. It's saying, hey, even if I am staring in dark, despairing times, hope is the active conviction that despair will never have the last word. And you're an agent of hope, and you're creating hope, creating economic activity, creating jobs. I'm just happy to be a partner in government with you in what's good about government, in helping people, serving people.
Actually, being overly generous. We are visiting with Senator Cory Booker, a New Jerseyan, representing this great state in the nation's capital in these very trying times, here visiting at the Paulsboro Port. We'll be right back.
Come on down Route 55 to the Millville Airport. Visit Smith & Jackson Military Antiques and Firearms, a gun shop with a woman's touch. Buying, selling, and trading firearms and military items, especially seeking World War II, German, Japanese, and American items. Buying single items or entire collections. That's Smith & Jackson Military Antiques and Firearms at the Millville Airport, 21 Peterson Street, next to the Glasstown Brewing Company.
And welcome back. The single reason we do the show, it's Community Notes with Irma Stevenson. So Irma, here we are. So pretty good day all the way around, and we're taping our first show of the season a little bit earlier than we normally do, but with Senator Booker, Senator Sweeney, and the supermarket opening, we thought we'd jump back in.
John, I love it. I'm here like 3 times a week, and it's only Walt and I, so everything, come to Paulsboro and come to Save-A-Lot. Happy birthdays to Trinity Thompson, Tajay Thomas, Crystal Henderson, Pop Thomas, Bonbon Haddock, Michael Swift, and former mayor, your dad, John B. John, isn't that wonderful? Happy anniversary, 61 years to Walter and I. He's getting a monument built to him soon, John. Carol and Dan Berth, Barb and Dave Jones, and Sheriff Carmel and Gina Marina. The New Beginnings Church of 4th and Billings, Reverend Joe Berdango is their minister. Fourth Sunday of every month, they have free clothing for infants, children, and adults, free food to give out from 4 p to 5:30. This is our Paulsboro people helping out. And John, you're going to MC for us, 24th Annual Paulsboro High School Sports Hall of Fame, Friday, October the 20th, from 7 o'clock it will start, honoring Pete Pandolfo, Mike Bell, Candy Owens, Angela Polino Petrutz, and Lieutenant Colonel Jack Suter, retired from the United States Marine Corps, and posthumously Steve Salvatore, John. $40, please call me at 856-423-3787 for tickets. And John, we're going to have a lot of fun homecoming. October the 21st. The classes of 1955, 1972, 1977, and 2007 will all be having their class reunions. They're going to the football game. We're going to be in the parade. And then each one's going on their own way. But and I'll give you lots of information for that. Homecoming parade will be that day. Craft show. The VFW, our dear friends VFW, Post 5579 at West Broad Street in Gibbstown, Saturday, September the 16th from 9 to 3. Craft and vendors are welcome. Please call Donna at 856-848-7954, John, to order a table. Please go down. And we have another Chinese auction, John. Saturday, October 14th, sponsored by St. James Episcopal Church and the Paulsboro Neighbor Watch. And this year, because so many people have come to all the events, Paulsboro Firehouse. Doors open at noon. Auction starts at 1 p.m. $5 admission sheet, $2 additional sheets, tromboli table, lottery trees, and they will have food for sale. And this is really helping our Town Watch and St. James Episcopal Church, John. That is the cutest. Walter and I used to court on the steps.
It sounds like it was a religious experience.
Well, it was, John. It's always and don't forget, on October 21st also, St. Paul's is having their famous oyster and ham dinner. They have takeouts, and I'll give further information. So Paulsboro's on the move, John.
And we've got to visit with the new pastor there as well. That's going to do it for Fred Booker behind the camera. For Bill Crane, our producer, who could be with us today, Irma.
See you on Broad Street and Save It, Save a Lot, and go be great.
Until next time.